So, my first tip for you today in 7 secrets to success with today's technology is to think mobile. I've been using Google advertising for a number of years. A lot of people will tell you, oh, I've tried Google advertising and it doesn't work, or I've done some Google advertising and I just didn't have very good results with it. Well, I'm here to tell you that there are some ways that you can use Google advertising to benefit and profit as a real estate professional. And one of the ways is by targeting mobile devices. Now, there's some key things that you have to look at when you're using Google and mobile devices, but it's very important for you to think about Google on the mobile side. Now, why the mobile side? Because we all know mobile phone growth is huge. More and more people are using their mobile devices. In fact, the Mobile Marketing Association of Asia did a study, and they said there are roughly 6 billion plus people on the planet. 4.8 billion own a mobile phone, while only 4.2 billion own a toothbrush. I know that's kind of a sickening thought, isn't it? But literally, more people own a mobile phone than they do a toothbrush. And we look at wherever you go, restaurants, driving down the highway, which is kind of a sad, scary thought, but people are on their phones all the time. So we know that the mobile phone um, arena is huge and it's just getting bigger and bigger. So how can you take advantage of this as a real estate professional? Well, I want to share with you something that I've been using that's been very, very successful for me, and it has paid me huge dividends. In fact, I only spend 58 to 60 cents a click, and literally I'm getting thousands of dollars in return for this. So how do you do this? Well, it allows you to hit your target using Google AdWords. So we're not going to go through, I do a whole series of workshops on using Google advertising. But if you'll understand and know that Google allows you to set up advertising through what is called Google AdWords. Now, when we go to Google AdWords and we set up a campaign, there are several things that you go through, and Google will ask you a series of questions. What's your copy of your ad? When do you want your ad to run? And then you get down to a little place under settings where it asks you the question, John, do you want your ads to show up on all computer devices? Or would you like to be a little bit more specific about which devices we display your ad on? Well, I got to thinking about this a while back, and I was thinking about my two daughters. They're 23 and 25. And they used to always want my hand-me-down computers. My daughters never use a laptop computer. When they come by to visit at the house, they do everything on their smartphone. And I just got to thinking about mobile phone growth and the research I've done, and as I go around teaching and working with other real estate professionals, and I thought to myself, why do I even bother with putting my ads on traditional computer platform devices? Why don't I just target mobile phones? So I selected mobile phone devices and tablets. Now, the next question Google asks me, and it defaults to a general broad area where your ads show up anywhere in the world. So if you were in Hawaii, well, you are in Hawaii. Maybe we've got some folks that are not in Hawaii, but you're in Hawaii, you type in real estate for sale, Farmington, Missouri. From your mobile phone, you won't see my ad. If you're in St. Louis, Missouri, and you're on a mobile phone and you type in real estate for sale or open houses, Farmington, Missouri, you won't see my ad. But if you're standing within the 63640 zip code, the Farmington, Missouri zip code, and you're on your mobile phone or a tablet, and you type in real estate for sale, open houses, farms for sale, any of those keywords I've chosen, my ad will show up. So what I've really done here, and here's a copy of my ad on my phone. Now notice I typed in homes for sale, and I'm standing within the zip code because Google knows where you are located based on the GPS tracking in your phone. So if you're outside that 63640 zip code, my ad's not going to appeal to you or even show up. But if you're inside 63640 zip code, this is what the ad would look like. And quite frankly, I tried to design the ad so that people, when they see it, can automatically know they're going to be able to go to the MLS and search right on their mobile phone. I've also included my phone number so they don't click on the ad and charge me 58 cents if all they need is my phone number. But this target market advertising has been very, very successful for me. I do no print advertising whatsoever. For some of you who've been on the calls with me before, you will know that I owned 3 offices at one time, had over 50 agents that I managed and coached and helped and had and I to me I had a very successful real estate office. I sold the office to go to work for a bank, and I won't bore you with all of that. But I will tell you this, when I had the 3 offices and 50 agents, my biggest overhead as a broker was my advertising. And quite frankly, it really didn't work. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Advertising does work and it depends on the marketplace you're in. But I kept pulling back my advertising dollars and decreasing my advertising budget because it was so out of whack. And yet our business continued to grow. Now I'm more profitable today than I have ever been as a real estate broker. I have a better profit return on my investment, and I do no print advertising whatsoever. And it's just because this second go round, I think I learned a lot and I'm trying to be a little bit smarter. But this is one of the solutions that's been very, very successful for me. Now, the key is your website has to be mobile ready. So if your website's not mobile ready, you're not going to really be able to take advantage of this solution. And I have some statistics I could share with you, but if there are people that are on a smartphone and they go to your website and it does not convert to a mobile website, they will leave it almost instantaneously. People don't want to have to take their fingers and enlarge and move around, and you've probably done that yourself. So there are some very good solutions and some companies that I have seen and used that will convert this for you. I'm using a company right now, and I think the name of this company is called Mobile Real Estate ID. I think that's the name of it. Very good company. They know if you're on a tablet or a smartphone, and everything just converts automatically for you. So make sure that you take advantage of target marketing through some of the platforms like, and not just Google advertising, but you can actually go into YouTube and you can run advertising today. And I'll talk about this more in an upcoming webinar when we're going to explore video a little bit more. But in my travels, I was in Columbia, Missouri not too long ago doing a webinar. I was doing some searching on YouTube, and literally a video popped up in advance that was a real estate office, a team in Columbia, Missouri, who was taking advantage of zip code target marketing through YouTube. So whether it's SlideShare, whether it's Yahoo, whether it's Bing or Google, all of these platforms today can allow you to go in and really do some specific target marketing. So I would just think about how you can do that to use that technology tool to grow your business. It's a very, very good way. And you can really target any location in the world. For example, if I'm in New York and I want to try to target buyers in another country, that's no problem for me to do that. In fact, a lot of times I will take farms that I have listed and target those to other countries to try to pull investors from other particular areas. So there's some really good things that you can do with target marketing in that respect. Now, the second part, and we actually talked about a lot of this on our very first webinar that we did. And again, the Hawaii Association asked me to do 6 webinars. Hope you're not getting tired of them. I love to do the webcast and want to help you grow your businesses. But I talked about is your on the sticky website webinar, which was our first one. And we talked about this rethinking your website and not losing leads. And by the way, I have all of the sessions recorded. So if you want to watch that particular webinar, I've got a link to that and we'll be glad to get that to you. But I talk about in that session, and that falls into here a little bit. So we're going to do some repeating on that particular webinar, but that's okay. They say you need to watch something 21 times to really understand it and become proficient at it. But whether we like it or not, most people will come to our website and click off. They don't stay there very long. And as I talk about in that particular webcast, a lot of us have these websites, but they're basically empty. Now I want to launch another poll, and I just want to ask this question: how much do you spend on your website per month? So if you'll vote with me here and just let me know about how much are you spending for your website. So the votes are coming in. We'll let those go a little longer. And we may have some folks that are on some tablet devices, and I'm not certain how easy that is if you're watching from a tablet to vote. But we've got a little over 50% of the people that have voted. So I'll go ahead and close this poll, and I'll share the results with you. You can see a lot of folks are just paying under $25 a month, which that's very good and not bad at all. A lot of you may be using some WordPress sites. But you can see we've got a good number of folks that are spending anywhere from $25 to $100 a month, and then a few people that are over that. So I see a question that just came in, and Ronald wanted to know if the webinar is available to listen to in the future. Yes, it is, and I am recording that, Ronald, so I'll be glad to share that with you as well. And send me an email, and I do apologize. I did get that the last webinar. If you send me an email, I'll be sure and send everybody a link to that. And I overlooked one, but I did get them the webinar this past week. So I want to know, is your online office empty? And I talk about this because for a lot of us, we have these really cool websites. Some of you are on the webinar right now, and there are people looking at your website, and you have no idea that they're there. So how can we get around this? Well, one of the things we can start to do is engage with visitors. And there's a number of solutions that are out there where you can actually embed the ability to have conversations or to chat or instant message with consumers. This is the one that I like to use. It's called Live Chat Inc. What I really like about this particular version, and if you look down at the bottom right-hand corner where I have the red circle, basically that's what you have the ability to use several chosen diagrams that they have. You can also brand that with your logo. And when you are available, you log into the live chat. You get a desktop version, so you would log into the live chat, and this little um, display pops up. So when visitors come to your website, they will know someone's there that they can talk to. I kind of like the one that's branded perhaps with your picture or with your company logo. Now, okay, it's $36 a month. We could do the math on that. We're up to around $400 plus or minus for a full year's of live chat Inc. Is that worth it? If you can get one transaction throughout the year, yes, it's worth it. Do people use this with me? Yes. I sit and watch TV in the evening, or if I'm working on a project, and I'll hear the doorbell and my chat box pops open and someone's asking me questions about a piece of property. By the way, I can embed this on more than one website. So if someone's on my Business Tech Guy website, I can find out and communicate with them via the Business Tech Guy. I have it on a website that I run in France for a customer, a client that I work with, and I can talk to people from France who ask questions. So it can run on multiple websites, and they have an iPad and an iPhone application. I have literally been out in the field and my phone would ring and it would be someone on my website that I could communicate with and chat with. Now I have mine turned off right now, so it's not on if you went to my website, but I'll have that back up where you could do that. And anytime you come by either one of my websites, you can chat with me. But this is a great program. I really like it. This is an older version I used to use from a different company. I've been using chatting for quite a while, but it really can pay off, and it really is something that's been very beneficial for me. And by the way, I get more offline messages than I do online. So if people are surfing my site at 2 in the morning, or if I'm at a closing or gone, and it says I'm offline, leave a message, I get more people that will leave me messages that way, and they give me their email and phone number so I can follow up with them. The other thing I talk about in the sticky website is to create an opt-in piece. This is something that most real estate agents are not taking advantage of. This is a lady in Florida. She created a little ebook called Everything You Wish You Knew Before Buying a Florida Vacation Rental Home. Some people say, oh, ebooks are not effective. I beg to differ with you. They have been very effective, and there's research to back this up. And you can go to companies like HubSpot.com, and they will tell you that white papers, ebooks, free downloadable information is huge, and people want more of it. Here's a gentleman who put up how to buy a New York City apartment on YouTube. It's a great video. However, she's capturing emails and names. You watch the YouTube video, when you're gone, you're probably never going to get those people back. So you want to go out and you want to create some type of an opt-in piece. If you say, John, I don't know how to do that, Realtor.com has a piece for you that you can use. And there are ways then where you can use tools like MailChimp and Constant Contact, Aweber, and these programs literally allow you to put what is called an opt-in widget on your website, which is nothing more than someone just giving you their name and email address. But you want to create something for them that that is unique and interesting, that you will give them in exchange for their name and email address. Now, it could be an e-newsletter. And by the way, I'm just going to jump out and show you something really interesting here. This kind of that's free that you can do. Jump out here, and I'm going to show you, we're going to just so you can kind of understand and get creative with some of this. This is a free tool for all of us. If you're a member of the Hawaii Association of Realtors, you are a member of the National Association of Realtors, and you have the same tool that I'm going to show you. It's called RPR. It's through the Realtors Property Resource. It's part of the National Association of Realtors. This is my local MLS, but I'm going to log into RPR, which is the Realtor Property Resource. And I want to just show you how this tool could benefit you. So I'm going to type in, we'll go to this city here in Hawaii. And so I'm going to search on RPR. Now, this again is available to you for free, even if your MLS is not joined RPR. So here I am in this particular county. I'm only seeing one property. This is not it, must not be in the MLS. But I'm going to scroll down here, and in RPR I can find out more about the neighborhood. Now I just picked this particular town. So here it's showing me in this town over the last month, property values have gone up 24%. They've changed about 13% over the last 12 months. I have housing data that I can pull, information about the people. There, RPR pulls from over 300 different sources of data and dumps it right into one database for us. I can even come down here and see that 74% of the people in this community vote Democratic. So here's this, I can even go and find out how many days of sunshine you have. I bet it's a lot. Full days of sun right here. Does not give me that, but 39 for Hawaii County, 76 for Hawaii. You don't get any snowfall there. In Missouri, we get about 11 inches of snowfall. So here's this information, and you're saying, okay, well, what's the purpose of this, John? Well, I'm going to select Get a Report, and I'm going to come down here to the Neighborhood Report, and it's a very interesting report, and I'm going to check the box and get this report. So I can go on and work, and it's going to ring a little doorbell when that's done. So we're going to come back to that report in just a little bit, and I'm going to show you how I use that. But what I want you to understand is I'm creating a really cool, fully robust report about my community that I can come out and share on my website with consumers who might want that information, and I'll give it to them in a very interesting, cool format in exchange for their name and email address. And in fact, I'll tell them on my little widget that I'll give you an updated report every couple of months or every month as part of my newsletter. So if people want to opt in, they can, and now I can communicate with them. And they may not be ready to buy or sell today, but when they are ready, hopefully I've provided them enough meaningful and valuable information that they will look at me as the expert. And there's the doorbell, so my report's done, and we'll download that here in just a second. So we're going to package this offer up, and we might create everything you wanted to know about, and I apologize, I don't want to mess the name of the pronunciation of that city in Hawaii, but everything you wish you knew about Hawaii County, Hawaii. Download my free ebook with all the facts and figures about employment, our housing market, interesting things to do. That report has just got a lot of really cool information, and it's free. So I use a little a program called Boxshot 3D to create and there's tons of these softwares out on the internet. Just um, do a search for 3D images or how can I create an ebook cover? Because remember, Marketing 101, we've got to have an interesting package if we want people to sign up for it or to buy it, right? So if we just stick some copy, like I did earlier, it wasn't very effective. We also have to start thinking about how can I package and make this attractive so people will say, hey, that looks pretty interesting. Well, all the Pink Flamingo did was she took her graphic someone made up for her and she gave it a 3D effect, but now it looks interesting, it has some appeal, and people may want to download it. So this ties right into the next tip that I want you to think about for one of the secrets to success with technology, and that's to think digital. Create a digital magazine. Here's a farm. I do this on most all of my farms I list. I do more land today than anything. But I have a 349-acre farm here that I sold to some people from Texas. I created this digital magazine, and was complete with links to virtual tours. And I had this hosted on my website. It's very easy to do. You can see here we import, convert, and now it's ready to go. So I'm going to show you how I did this. We're going to go back out here. The report's ready. By the way, for those of you who watched Geraldo Rivera a number of years ago, some of our younger folks in the audience may not remember this, but Geraldo had a program on one night. It was 2 hours. They were going to open up the vault to Jimmy Hoffa's vault. They were going to open up this vault, and we were going to find the remains of Jimmy Hoffa. And many of us watched that for 2 hours. And at the very end, they opened the door, and poor Geraldo, there was nothing in the vault. It was an empty room. So sometimes I may do something on the webinar. I'm going to try some stuff, and we may open the vault and nothing's there. So here's this report. Some of you might say, well, John, how were you able to get that for Hawaii? I can't look at your MLS data, but as a member of the National Association of Realtors, I have access to RPR, so I can get any demographic report I want to anywhere in the United States that RPR is located. So here's all of this data. Really nice report, but I want to do something a little bit different with it, okay? So I'm going to save this report. I'm going to call this Hawaii, and I'm going to save this on my desktop. Now I'm going to select Save. Okay, so we've got that saved on the desktop. Now we're going to come out here and we're going to open up my digital magazine creator. This is, like I said, if we have a computer crash or something goes haywire, I apologize. But you'll at least know I tried, right? So here's my Hawaii PDF. This is a portable document format, which means most of your MLS reports are PDF. Most anyone could pull this up in a web browser. And it could be your ebook just in a PDF, but I'm going to take it and I'm going to now import this. Now, while it's doing that, I'll be saying a prayer that nothing crashes and that I need one of these aha moments for you. And here is my digital magazine, which I can email, I can share it on Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn. I can print this out, or I can even go to my website and I can create. Now, I give my reports away for free. I just want you to think about when I talk about getting people to opt in, because we have these websites. Remember, I want you to go back to the reason for this. We have websites where people are visiting them and they're leaving. They may be very good cash buyers, they could have $3 or $4 million in their pocket for a property in Hawaii. And they've been on your website, looked around, and left. Well, you want to try to figure out how you can put the handcuffs on these folks that are coming to your website. So you could create the ability for people to opt in. So I just want to show you how I took, and I have one for each one of these communities in my area. And so here is my digital magazine that I embedded on my website. Same magazine that we just created for the Hawaii city, but this is a neighborhood report for Farmington, Missouri. And again, if I want to share this on Facebook, LinkedIn, I can drive people to my website and they can download the ebook. And all I have to do is run this report periodically, save it, and upload it to my website. And I actually do some coaching and training on how to do this. If you're interested, I do some workshops, we do some virtual training, and I show you how to do this step by step. It's not that difficult, but the whole purpose of this, and what I want you to understand, is that we're trying to do some different things with technology, and we're trying to reach a larger audience, and we're trying to make technology, remember, save us time and make more money. But I want to go back to this right here. Creating digital magazines for certain properties is what sets me apart from the average real estate professional. So when I go out to try to get a high-end listing of a farm, and my competition says, well, I'm going to put it in the MLS, I'm going to advertise it, and I'm going to do a property luncheon, and we'll do this. And you're saying to these folks, look, I'm going to create a high-end digital magazine that I'm going to embed on my website that people can download to their tablet PC and take a look at all the photographs and all the really cool things and watch virtual tours right from my digital magazine. You can even create these for your office or for all of your listings. And so that's just one little company. Flippingbook.com will give you some links to some other software applications. But you got to think outside the box, and you have to be different, which leads me to number 4. So I've been using these single property websites as really more as a listing tool. Now, I also like to use it for higher end properties. And by the way, the company is called listingdomains.com. I'm sure many of you have used this company. If you haven't, you're missing out on a really cool marketing idea because it's less than $60 and you get a single property website. And by the way, it's mobile friendly. So you can go back to that Google advertising we talked about with our first secret. You can go back to that particular Google advertising and you can run ads about your property and send them right to your single property website if you want to. So here is a company I do some work for in France, and I think this particular URL has expired. We were using this for quite a while. It's called promenadeparadise.com, which goes along with the promenade in France. But we chose a unique URL. A lot of times people will use these single property websites and they will use the street number and street name as the URL, the website address. That's what I mean by the URL. It's called the Uniform Resource Locator, and it's basically just the website address. Well, we started thinking about how could we do that. If we sell that property, then the single property website's no longer good for us, or if it expires. So we started coming up with the idea of changing the name so that you could reuse the website over and over. Now, here's one I did. And by the way, this is a $2.5 million farm, 900 acres. That's a pretty good buy $2.4 million. If you know anybody looking for some land, they can at a reasonable discount, because you probably sell lots in Hawaii that are more than that. I know you do. So here's a 900-acre farm. I got this listing because I told the sellers I was going to put up their own website. Now, all I had to do was add the pictures of the copy and some links and various information, but they liked that idea and it was a good listing tool. Going back to, I want to go back here, I apologize, to this particular one. Another example, one of my clients in another town handled all of the probate sales. So we had a URL called probate with the initials of the city, one.com. Well, most probate properties sell pretty quick because the court usually prices them pretty aggressively. Once that probate property sold, the URL was probate, initials of the city, one. Once that sold, we just put another probate property in, changed the pictures in the copy, and so he could just refer people right to the URL probate one, and people went right to it. And so it was a great way to have some multiple websites up. It's also a very, very good listing tool. So it's called listingdomains.com, and it's been very effective for me. Now, last month, actually just a couple of weeks ago, we talked about going paperless. And I use a company called NetDocuments. This is what my online storage space looks like. It's my workspace. I love NetDocuments. I'm in Destin, Florida now. I can do business. I can transact business. I can email documents. If I wanted to check a document out or I wanted to use my iPhone to scan something, I can do that. I can conduct all of my business right here. But if you want to know more about working in the cloud, the last session we talked about was all paperless. We've got lots of ideas for you there. And I just wanted to point out, because I think you need to really look at going paperless. Whatever solution you use, I think it's just it'll change the way you do business, and it has me. So NetDocuments is available on the iPad and the iPhone as well. Now, number 6, find some productive apps. We did a webinar on apps, and I showed you some apps that are out there. This is one of my favorite apps. It's called Postagram. And what I call on for sale by owners a lot. And I don't know if you have for sale by owners in Hawaii. I'm sure you probably see them on occasion, but I know here in Destin, Florida, I've been looking around and they were telling me they just don't have a lot of for sale by owners here. So I don't know the market condition there, but we have a lot of for sale by owners. I love to call on for sale by owners. And one of the things I do when I leave their house is I take a picture of the outside, of the front, and I customize a message. Thank you for showing me your home today. I was really impressed with all the nice features. And if I can be of help for you in any way in the future, please let me know. John Mayfield. I hit continue, and for 99 cents, it will send a high glossy postcard to that person within just a couple of days. So it's called Postagram. It's really a cool little app, but there are some, and it's 99 cents. I literally, before I leave their driveway, I've already sent a thank you card to them and they'll get it in just a couple of days. But that's a fun little app. I found this app today. It's called Date Alert, because I was at this meeting and we were talking about important dates and not letting dates go by. And as a real estate professional, trying to keep up with when's the inspection due. And, we only have 7 days for the financing left. And actually, I thought to myself, and I hope there's nobody on the call that would steal this from me. Just send me an email and we'll combine it together. But today, wouldn't it be cool if you could come up with an app for a real estate professional that when you wrote the contract, you could just like pick the things: termite inspection, uh, city occupancy financing, and it would like give you the reminders in advance. Well, golly, there's already an app out there, and it's called Data Alert. But I downloaded it, and I'm going to put it to good use because I think that's can save us a lot of time. Photoshop Express next. I think it's next month. We're going to talk about YouTube and videos. I've got some great stuff I'm going to show you. And I promise you, you don't want to miss our next webcast because I'm going to show you how you can really virtually put together a mobile video studio and show you some things I'm doing for next to nothing. Snapseed is a great application. I think Google may have purchased them, but you can actually correct photos, do some really interesting things from straightening. Do any of you have that problem, or is it just me? It seems like my photos, and I feel like I'm holding the camera straight, but I'll get back to get ready to upload to the MLS, and I start fine tuning, and it's like, uh-oh, I better straighten that image a little bit. So you can do that with Snapseed. And this is one of the apps I'm going to show you next month. This is so cool. Now, it's a little pricey. It's 22 bucks, but it's called VisiWig. And I'm going to show you how you can make a high definition video right from your iPhone and do some amazing editing with this little app. So we're going to have fun with our next webinar where we talk video and producing video. I'm going to show you some stuff with steady cams, and we're going to just have a really fun time next month. Now, number 7, as we get close to wrapping up the webinar, find some really good shortcuts, time-saving tools. There are websites out there. If you find a website you like and you want to find more information, similar site search, so you can find all kinds of related terms. And remember that sites like Google's more than a search engine. So a lot of times I will just give Google a math problem because you know what? It's a calculator. And a lot of times you can do conversions. When I'm in France, I need to convert or transcribe, um, dictate, and do the translation for me. But Google's a converter. You can even go into Google and type in an airline flight number, and it'll tell you where it's at, crossing the country, and so forth. And I just did a 2-minute tech tip called on these two little guys here, short keys if you're a Windows person, and text expander. Now I got to show you what I've been doing with text expander because this is a lot of fun. If you get someone who links in with you in your email, and I'm going to just pull up a blank document. So let's just say someone sends you an email and they want you to link in with them, and you accept their invitation because you want to be linked in with them. So you accept their invitation, and now you both have a network connection on LinkedIn. I immediately go back to my profile or back to my email, and I select view profile of the person that just asked me to link in with them. So I'm selecting view their profile. I'm going to expand this up a little bit for you. Now I'm on their profile, and there's a button that says send a message. Now they just sent me a LinkedIn invitation and asked me to link in with them. I've accepted their invitation. I select view their profile, and now I select send a message. Now here's how short the short keys or text expander can work for you. I have a message in text expander called LK1, and you will notice that it automatically types in for me, thanks for connecting with me on LinkedIn. I appreciate our ability to network and share business ideas and other creative collaborations through our digital age. Once again, thank you. You might want to add, a lot of my LinkedIn requests are through people with speaking connections, but you may want to add a little brief resume about what you do as a real estate professional, your designations, what communities you service, and whatever other information you feel is viable for that. But did you notice how all I had to do was press LK1 and it types it for me. So with Text Expander, I set up what is called snippets. And now if I'm on YouTube and I want to put the tags at the end of my video, if I find myself typing things over and over, I just create a snippet in Text Expander. And so it puts all of these tags right in for me, because most every video I do for the Business Tech Guy, my 2-minute tech tips, I want tags to be tech tools, real estate tech, technology speaker, cools, tech ideas, tech shortcuts, technology software, and so forth. So when I do that in YouTube, I type in my Text Expander snippet and it goes right in. By the way, I just did. If you want to sign up for my 2-minute tech tips, see this, I'm trying to get folks to opt in, and you can go right out here, select that, and it will go, you can sign up for my 2-minute tech tips. But here's a little snippet I did on Text Expander here, and I've got some videos I've done down here as well. So that's businesstechguy.com, and if you want to get a hold of me, you can do that as well. And so Text Expander, short keys, they're great programs. If you find yourself typing something over and over and over again, those are great software programs to save you a lot of time. I use password managers. I use RoboForm, and it syncs with all of my devices. It will generate very secure, tough passwords for you. I've heard some great things about 1Password, but you might want to check out some password generators. Those would save you a lot of time, because if you're like me, sometimes I'm scratching my head trying to think, what was that password? And I try to use really long, difficult passwords. And if you just get kind of bored with technology, or you feel like you're addicted to technology and you want to lock yourself away from technology, there's a program called Freedom, and it'll lock you out and you can kind of just be done with technology. But I will warn you, if you use Freedom, you will definitely be locked out of your computer for good. I think I've closed with this story. There's a lot of stories out there, but I just like to remind everybody, and this was the Acme Buggy Whip Company, but I could use a company called PFS First Choice. I don't know, we had a few people that were high tech learners, or some of our old DOS people, if you're on here. If you're like me, back in the early days of computer technology, when Windows first, actually before Windows, when it was DOS, I used a company called First Choice for writing, my writing, and it was a spreadsheet, a database, and it was such a great program. But when Windows came out, the people from First Choice could never make the conversion or the leap into Windows. They just couldn't get it. And First Choice kind of went away. And we can think about that with other software companies. Lotus used to be the premier word process or spreadsheet program. Word Perfect. It's like if you wanted the top of the line word processing software program, you used Word Perfect. These companies, I don't even know if they're still around today, or if they are, they have very, very small market share. But the Acme Buggy Whip Company fell into the same trap. People were changing and using technology, and those who did, they weren't able to battle the car business. So people weren't riding horses anymore. They were driving cars, and so the Acme Buggy Whip Company went out of business. And we've got to think about that as real estate professionals as well. People are using mobile phones today. How can we target them? People are using tablets. People want apps and they want very new and creative ways to get their information and to see their information marketed or their property marketed. So I hope that I was able to give you some ideas and some things that you might want to think about. If you're interested, I do have, if you go out to my website, I'd love for you to sign up for my 2-minute tech tips. It's free. I only send it out once a week. But if you want to go out here, I had a link out here to Hawaii. I think this is it. Tech tools to grow your business. If you sign up for any of these, if you put the promo Hawaii in, you will get a 25% discount. And if you sign up for the uh, 2-minute tech tips, I will be doing soon some additional coaching, and you'll get notice of that. But I want to thank you so much for joining the webinar. I appreciate everyone. I want you to know my prayers are definitely with you for these storms that are coming through. If you have any questions, I'm going to hang around here, and I've got some email addresses there. Thank you, and I will put that on there. But any questions, feel free to send me an email, and I mean that as well. If you have any questions just about anything I talked about or need some help, I'm here to help out. And I always tell people I don't charge for just a conversation or for some basic help. If you call me every day, then we have to talk about something that would suit us both. But if you just need some basic help or want to know how to do one of these items, Rowena, thank you for your kind comments. And she'll even tell you that I'll help in any way, and others will too. So have a great evening, a great day, everyone. Thank you so much. And I'll get this recording to the Marcia, Hawaii Association, and we'll get that up for you all to watch. Thanks again. Have a great day and be safe.